Hola, aquí Margaretilla, and welcome back to Explaining La Más Draga 3. This is a series where I explain Mexican drag competition La Más Draga Season 3. So get comfortable because this is a very good episode. The episode starts with Johnny Carmona entering the workroom and telling the girls that the challenge for this week is La Más Buchona. A Buchona is the girlfriends from like the main drug dealers. They are these very expensive women with very bad taste but with a lot of money, so they have a lot of plastic surgeries, they have a lot of luxury labels but with very bad taste. And this happens in the north of Mexico. Just imagine a Jersey girl meets cowgirls meets plastic surgery meets Beverly Hills. And Johnny also says to the girls that they have to do a transformation. So this is the makeover challenge episode. And then he tells the contestants that they have to go to the main stage for a surprise. And the surprise are the people who they have to put in drag. These people are very famous comedians and LGBT influencers. So, since Raga won last challenge, she has the power to choose which girl is gonna transform who. Oh girl, but before that, we have another surprise because this is the episode where a girl returns to the competition. The girl returning to the competition is Abiesk Who. After that, Raga picks who has to transform who, and then we go to the next workroom where the girls meet their partner, who they have to transform. They have cute conversations since the people who they are transforming are comedians and influencers. They're having a lot of fun time, and Regina flirts with her partner. Raga has a very good connection with her partner. Memo has complications, some issues. Madison's having a good time. Obvious, apparently they didn't have like a dress for a bigger girl. They have to do one from scratch. And Regina is just flirting with her partner. And so then we go straight to a runway where Carlita Diaz introduces the judges, Yari, Johnny, and Letal, and the special guest of this week, Albertano, that is a TV character that does a lot of theater, but it's very commercial. Everybody knows them. It's like, it's nothing special. It's just a very funny character in the TV Mexican media. So then the runway happens, but as you know, we have a very special guest for that. So let's go straight to that. I'm not gonna look to you because I'm gonna speak to the phone. I know, I'm such a bad person. I'm sorry. Such a rude host. So for this part, we have a very special guest, a person I truly love, I miss. I cannot wait to see them again. From RuPaul's Drag Race Season 8, Miss Laila McQueen.
Hi! Well, in the famous words of Margaretilla, I guess we needed a white girl, so...
I guess we need a white girl, yeah. This episode is gonna be a little hard to explain because it's definitely not white.
I didn't watch the whole thing. I did watch who's in the bottom and the lip sync and like the who like exited the show, which by the way, the exit music for when they're like, okay, we got eliminated, we're leaving, is so depressing. Like the music score for it, I was like, this is sad. I was like, I don't know who these girls are. There's no subtitles, so I don't know. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm like sad for this girl because the music and the way they play out, even like the pit crew is like, we're so sorry you're going. I'm like, this is so sad.
Okay, so I tried to explain to you before what a buchona is.
Right.
So
yeah, no, I get it. When you explained that to me and I watched it, I was like, okay, this makes sense. Because I think I watched it, like, you sent it to me, and I think I just watched it before you explained it to me, and then I was like, maybe I should have read what she said, because I don't think I get this right away. But once you did, yes. Especially, like, the, like, Jersey aspect of it, I was like, okay, yeah, some of these girls...
It's very Jersey, yeah.
So who did they make over? Like, so this main this was, like, the challenge was to make them over family resemblance, I'm assuming?
Yes, they had to be like their sisters.
What was it, just like their friends and family that they made over?
Oh, they're like gay influencers.
Oh, ooh, celebrities.
I mean, most of them are comedians.
Right, because being an influencer is just a fucking joke, you know?
Period. What do you thought of the first one?
Oh, okay. I didn't think they were, like, super cohesive with each other. Like, the more you looked at it, like, when they came out, it was like, okay, you get off right off the bat that they're tacky. Mm-hmm. But I think the more you looked at them, as similar as they were, I didn't think so. Like, I felt like they should have either been both wearing gold or both wearing like denim. And I also thought like the fact that one coat, even though they're both white, was like wildly shorter and the other was long, it just kind of was like, oh, okay, this is a little off. Like I can kind of see the family resemblance, but it also seems like Regina like was like, oh, I have all this gorgeous stuff for me, and I guess we can use this for you.
Yeah, I thought the same. I like Regina's outfit was obviously made for her, and then she was like, okay, so I have like this stuff that like may go with it, and we'll try to see if this works. Maybe it was more like a mother-daughter kind of situation.
They should have either both been in cowboy hats, or I just felt like they needed to have certain, not to say that a makeover you have to look identical, but the things were just so off from each other. And I also thought that when they were like selling it, like they weren't totally in sync with their movements, and it was kind of a little bit I don't want sloppy sounds so mean, but it was a little off in their presentation.
There wasn't like a storyline there, and I do want to point out that I wanted you specifically for like this episode, your makeup is, in my opinion, the best makeup in drag. Like, I'm so jealous, and I think...
Imagine if I was in drag right now, too. This is the quarantine McQueen look these days.
That. You're, like, the perfect person, like, to judge the transformation part, because you've done my makeup before. And since that, I've been trying to, like, pick some tips from them. I mean, we're still working on it, I think.
Okay, but, like, meanwhile, I'm over here. I watched all of Love for the Arts. I was like, I need to do Margaret makeup. I need to win. Like, I'm like, why can't my makeup look that good?
I've said it before, I'm gonna say it again. When I die, you need to do my makeup. It's gonna be a creepy moment, but
done.
You'll have fun.
I'll do it. I take any gigs.
And the next one is Más Draga Diamante and Piedra Pómez Diamante.
So when they came out, I thought that they walked really good together. Like, they really had that, like, bougie, sisters, it's us, we're very that moment, like, attitude. Yeah. And I appreciate that. I love the nose jobs. And they were definitely very tacky, which is, like, something you also said was, like, kind of the point of this whole theme, is that they're all... very like tacky, like they think that they have great taste but they look like shit, like that kind of tacky. Yeah. And I think that they gave that off. I did think that like the more you looked at it, the more things I saw that I was like, maybe we shouldn't have worn every single necklace that we owned in one outfit. Maybe just like two of them.
From all the transformations, this one was definitely like they look like each other. Like you couldn't tell which one was like the drag competitor and the like the influencer. I thought that they really looked like twins. But I don't know, like the clothes were very like off the rack.
So, it was definitely very that.
Like I don't know if she was like prepared enough. The look itself wasn't my favorite.
That's true, but also when I first watched it, like especially in comparison to the girl who went before her, they sold it. Like they sold the persona. Who doesn't love an unconcealed rhinestone gun hiding in your titties?
I know. They were like the most convincing. So I give them that.
You can have that.
The next one were Rudy Reyes and her drag sister.
Wow, I'm not even going to say her drag sister's name.
I cannot remember it. Like the Pasio?
Okay, so this was the one that was like, when she came out, I was like, she's a Jersey girl. Like, this is like, she's going to the Michelle Visage family picnic, you know? Like, the hot pants and the very big hair, which I also appreciate because this was one of the few makeovers this episode where someone wore big hair. So I appreciated that. For most of this episode, a lot of people did the like long, straight, like Naomi Cher hair. Like, just like, that's it. Like, Abby OMG hair.
Not the Abby OMG hair.
You know they love the long, straight, I wish this was human, but it's not fantasy.
Wait, are you trying to read me? Like... Well, I'm trying to think. Buchona doesn't have, like, big hair. Like, it's not dressing... Okay, well then... Yeah, I was... Now that you say that, actually, Buchona is, like, very sleek, like, long.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, and now they say that, I don't think, like, it's jersey in that way.
Because when I took the jersey reference, like, that kind of tacky, I think of, like, at least, like, styled poorly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But is this more like a is this more like a Beverly Hills, like, I'm just like feeling it, like flat iron?
Yeah.
In a sense. Yeah. Well, I still thought the big hair was like trashy and fun. It was different. I also thought it was like a fun twist that the makeover girl was just like a bag of cocaine personified. And speaking of hair, if cocaine wore a wig, that would be the wig it wore.
Period, yeah.
Her coming out like by herself, just like with a face full of like cocaine residue, like just like busting out like those doors were a bathroom stall at Queen. I was like, oh my god, I miss seeing my friends at bars.
I didn't like it that it was like a bag of cocaine.
I thought it was a different take. I mean, on one hand, it's like, okay, where's the family resemblance? You don't really look like sisters. But then on another take, it's like, well, you took a risk and it was something different than anyone else did. So you kind of, I appreciate that aspect of it.
Yeah, but I don't think like the transformation was like good enough to be that different in the family resemblance.
It's true. It wasn't that. It was more of the idea of it rather than the look wasn't like super remarkable. And I also wish, like, if that is the case, like being a bag of cocaine, that I wish that the presentation, like, you're not fashion. You're literally walking out as a giant plastic bag filled with drugs. Like, I need more like franticness, some sort of character, or a little like sell it. And then I also thought she was the one that did a reveal, right? Like I didn't think that was necessary. And it kind of didn't, it wasn't embarrassingly bad of a reveal, but it wasn't smooth. So it was just kind of like, that didn't need to happen. I do want to say though, I love how they walk. Was it Rudy?
Rudy, yeah. Well, she's like the dancer of this season.
Okay, well, the way she walks, I was like, oh, okay, I love that. She's like, I'm going over here. I have places to be, and I'm gonna get there now. Like, I really was like, ooh, I wish I walked that way.
And the next one is my drag son, Memorady.
Of course it is, because I wrote down for this one, I was like, this was the more fashion family resemblance and the, like, weirder one. Yes. I think out of all the makeup for all the transformations, I liked this one the best. I thought that the look wise, like, I love the pattern, and I love that it was almost like a little bit like a time period-y. It was very like not super modern, which I appreciate a different time era. So I appreciate that, but I do think the performance was like a little underwhelming. I did not think that they sold the character as much as I would like to. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
you can say it.
I didn't really know what was going on. Like, I didn't get any performance from it, and then when they were like fumbling with the bag, and then the guns came out, and I kind of got it, but then it was like, what's happening? Are they robbers? And then when they try to pull things over their face and the doors closed, and they're like, oh, wait, just kidding. And then they already gave up. I was like, oh no, this is just I like the looks the most, not maybe necessarily for the theme, but my personal favorite. Like, I was like, ooh, those are fun. I love that. They look really cool, but the like presentation, I was like, oh, this isn't it for me.
To me, it was like a very well deconstructed like costume of a buchon, like a drug cartel boss with her girlfriend.
And I like that when the doors open, that they were like the way they were posing, where they're like, we fucking own this place. So that's why I guess it was like, ooh, but then they started
the
walking.
First like 2 seconds were really good, and then
it was it.
And then everything happened. He's just not confident enough.
I get that.
Sad.
I feel that. I've been there, girl.
The next one is Madison Barre and her drag sister. I cannot remember the name again.
This was this was hysterical. This was really like very Cock Destroyer vibes, like the fact that they came out in a car, and yes, the family resemblance was there. They're wearing, it's very easy, but they performed it. Like, the outfits are kind of basic, but they really sold the characters, and like the giant lips. I love the fake Chanel bags so much. I felt like they took shots before they got in that car.
Oh, definitely. The look wasn't like the best. Like, it was okay, but the presentation was mind-blowing.
Shooting her and then trying to pull her off the stage. I was like, that's hysterical. And anyone who has giant Roxanne lips, I'm sold.
And second to last, we have Abiesque Who and La Madame, which was like very similar to Madison's, but it was like another take.
Yes, it was wildly similar, but not sold as funny as the last two, which I don't know, when you filmed your season of this, the way you guys, like the order you guys walk in the runway, is that how it's aired? Or do they switch up the order? In
my season it was. I'm not sure about this one.
But when I first saw it, and because they were so similar to the people who performed before them, I was like, did they switch this? Did they actually go in that order? Because I think them going after Madison was like a little bit to their detriment. Like, it wasn't as funny, and it was so similar that I was just like, oh, well, we just saw this but better, which kind of sucks because they didn't do a bad job.
Yeah, it was good. I like that, like the big proportions of it, and how bad they were like made, like, because it was obviously like a take on bad plastic surgery. And I kind of like that about it.
Yeah, I guess I just wish it was a little more plastic surgery, because when I first saw them walk out, they're like, from the waist down, it looked like Carbon Cavalli and Jasmine Rice were just standing next to each other at a bar. Like, the hips were so, like, bell pepper hips. Like, they're so gigantic. Like, if it was plastic surgery, I kind of wish that the drag daughter had, like, legit, like, I'm talking like Cock Destroyers, Sophie Anderson, like, these boobs are about to rip out of my body. They're so big. Like, I kind of wish it was like, because no one really did like gigantic titties. Like, I'm talking like a completely over proportionalized, like, unrealistically large tits. Like, I feel like that's an opportunity missed. I mean,
it was going like that way, but I'm not. It didn't fall short because it was really well done, but it was not as good as Madison, so it felt lackluster.
It wasn't, but it wasn't bad. I don't want to say that they were not the bottom of the pack this week. They still did a good job. Like, I also thought it was cute that they had the leather guy, pit crew guy. I don't know what you call them. I keep saying pit crew, but I don't think that's appropriate since it's not the same show. Yeah. But I do love that he was like carrying all these like boxes of shoes or things that they bought. That was really cute. I very much enjoyed that. I did think, and this probably was because they didn't sell it as much as Madison did before them, that at first they kind of just seemed like bachelorettes in Jersey rather than like super bougie.
I can see that. And the last one is Miss Taboo and her drag sister, Kaboom.
Okay, so this one, I don't know if I am just which I am an uncultured gringo, but I do not know if I just didn't get it or if they completely missed the mark, because I genuinely did not understand what was happening.
Yeah, so it was very conceptual and very problematic.
Art. Did somebody mention art?
But it was very problematic because, okay, so in Buchonas, the drug cartels are like the biggest thing, you know? These people, like, their religion is like Santeria, La Muerte. So they pray to the dead.
Gotcha.
So she was like this Buchona that was like a witch of Santeria, but her drag daughter was a person in a bag, because in these places, because of like the drug conflicts, people will like appear hanged in bags, especially women. So yeah. So like a sign of like to not like tell people to not mess with them. That's why they carry like a person in a bag.
That's dark.
Very dark, yeah.
That's very dark. Like, I thought something was a little up when it got to the... At first, I was just like, okay, they're wearing, like, not great outfit, like the drag sister. But then when it got close up, I was like, she has a bag over her head and duct tape around her neck. I was like, this feels a little bit more like a dead body situation. And I just don't know if that's supposed to be that way. And I was like, I don't know. And then when they brought the trash bag out with the wig in it, I'm sure that was like, okay, this is like another dead body. I was like, it just kind of looks like some people are trying to throw away their trash and they just do not know where the dumpster is. And they're just like, is it over here? Is it over here? I feel like they're kind of fighting over it. They're like, what do we do? So I was like,
oh my god, out of context.
It was kind of like, it was like when I first saw it, I was like, I just feel like these people like watched Don't Fuck with Cats, but didn't have a suitcase to put the body in. So they're like, what do we do? What's going on?
I mean, it's a very dark reality in Mexico.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm like a fan of it being part of a drag contest. I mean, it's a reflection of Mexico, but...
That is something I did not know. I did like the necklace, though. I do love a nice skull on a chain. Yeah, when she came out, I was like, oh, she looks good. I would have fun with her. I'd hang out with her at the bars. I'd tip her. Is she doing Evanescence tonight? I'll give her a few bucks.
Not Evanescence. Those were the contestants. We have to pick now your favorite and your least favorite. We call them la más y la menos.
Okay, so my favorite overall was Madison. I think they really sold it. I got a good laughs. Like, so many laughs that the simplicity of the outfit almost didn't matter because they sold everything else so hard, which is just sometimes how drag works. But I really did like Memo's look the best. In terms of
if Memo's presentation were good, it would definitely have been like my favorite one.
Yes, I agree. I thought it was different. It stood out in the right ways. It's just they did not perform well.
Your la menos, your least favorite ones?
The last one I didn't get, so I almost don't want to count that. And you explaining it to me, it's just like a little dark and not a part of a culture I'm familiar with. So I'm tapping out of that one. So the first one was a little too chaotic and not cohesive enough. Regina, I think, was my least favorite this week.
I'll say I'll pick Mista because like the transformation wasn't good.
Yeah, in terms of transformation, there basically really wasn't. Like if you take the bag off the head and like the outfit, like in terms of like,
it was like a piece of fabric with a bag.
Girl, it's a piece of fabric.
It's a piece of fabric. Thank you so much for doing this with me. You have no idea how much I miss you, and I hope I go there like early next year if we can.
I hope so. I also hope I can come there. Like, I want to travel. I want to go down there. I miss seeing you at bars and seeing you in sneakers, shit-faced in the dark. Like, I didn't realize how much I missed that until it never happens. I'll also bring a pair of sneakers if I ever come there, too.
Yeah, so we can match.
Also, Guajardo did great on Love for the Arts, but you were robbed there. I said it. I'm biased. I don't care. I said it. I was Team Margaret the whole time. The whole time. And as I watched it, I would call Renee. I don't know if you know my friend Renee. I would call her after every episode and be like, what the fuck is going on with this judging here? I was like, the fact that Margaret is always, like, I felt like you were the one that almost every episode, Trinity was like, we don't do winners here, but if we had a winner, it would be Margaret. I'm like, doesn't that count for something? I mean,
you said, I didn't say it.
I'll say it. I'll text Trinity right now.
Well, thank you for that. Anything you want to say before we go?
Thank you for having me. Everyone who's watching, help me, I'm poor. Yes, I do have merch actually available on mybestjudymerch.com, or maybe it's just mybestjudy. I think it's mybestjudymerch.com. There's links on my Instagram. I make jackets, I make clothes, I sell things intermittently on the internet, so just follow me and be nice, and let's all try to be kind during this trying time. Thank you for having me. It was good to see you. Let's talk shit again soon. Bye, everyone!
Thank you, Laila. Thank you, Marcus from the past. That was the runway. And the results ends with Memo and Regina being in the bottom, Madison winning this challenge, and Memo and Regina being in the bottom. They do a very good song. It's actually a very good lip sync this time. They're having a lot of fun. They have gags, and the person who leaves the competition, sadly, is Regina Bronx. It was her third time in the bottom, so we have to say goodbye to Regina. We will miss you. But yeah, that was everything for this week's episode. Thank you so much for watching this. Remember that you can tip me at paypal.me/marketilla. I really appreciate all of your tips. And we're coming to an end. Thank you so much. Recuerden que hablen mil y ya. Besis.